those times are over. Those times are over. How do readers, or how do young readers read? I start here. You start there. If it doesn't interest me, it does not interest me, I stop. But the reader chooses. This information is presented in blocks, and me as a reader, I choose how I read. Because if you think, some of your newspapers, you produce half-a-page articles, well, if more than 50% of your readers will read that, I think they should be locked up in an institute. Because that's not a normal reaction. So, present your information in blocks. Preferably 6 on a page. You know, this is a Russian page. And you know what it's about. You know what it's about. It's about these kind of vegetables, and this is probably something good and something bad. And this article has so many entrances where I can start reading and have the feeling it was worth it to start reading it. Piece of cake. This one does not even need a text. This news does not need text. This is a new portable office. Okay, and if I want to know how much it cost and the brand, okay, I need text. Or, of course, this is not India. Would a photo like this on emancipation, would there be an attractive photo for an Indian newspaper? Yeah? The new Indian man. Can you see it? Are you going to put this on the front page, sir? Not yet, eh? But after tomorrow you will. You know, because you have to do something if you want to get young readers. This magazine, 1 week, did 4 different covers of the same magazine. The content was exactly the same. So first of all, they gave the readers a choice. And for them, it was also a very good marketing exercise. What cover? The rest is exactly the same, you know. So they, by this week, they knew a lot more about the preferences of the reader by just seeing what they bought, not by asking them questions. But these were the hard figures. You know, this one was sold most. That's a politician who just recently died of cancer. Look at this photo. This photo invites you to look, because it looks like there are a lot of people present, but no, it's art on the wall. Hey, yes, those 3 seconds I spent on watching this photo are not wasted. It gives me a good feeling. And there's one thing, you know, I'm going to shout about you tomorrow in a workshop. You know, in every issue you have about 120 photos of passport photos of men, all looking like criminals. Politicians, sports people, and criminals alike. That has to be changing. You know, that we can't have anymore if we want more young readers. No, I did not say there are criminals, I say they look like. You know, I have to stay here 2 more days. Look at this one. This is a photo from the Egyptian Revolution. And what is the guy doing there, you think? What is he doing there? Sleeping. That's what I thought, you know. Is this a revolution? You know, they're sleeping. I mean, I can do a revolution like that. So that's why I want to read this. No, he's there to prevent the wheels from rolling. He was not sleeping there. You know, even if you're tired, you can't sleep like that, I tell you. He wanted, this was an individual action of a protester. He wants the tank to stop driving. Wow, that's news. Now you surprise me with this photo. Don't you think it's great? Talk about the wedding, and in the same line we talk about divorce. Of course, that's not in India, but in other countries we have many marriages failing and ending up in a divorce. But will you not get more readers? I very much like this simple illustration. And after this, it's a very serious article about marriage and whatever. Look at this one. That was from the Paralympics, the Olympic Games in Beijing. You know, I tell you the story. It was the start of the Olympic Games for invalids. And he asked this guy to get out of the group because he was too slow. He could not walk with his little legs. So he was asked to retrieve himself from the group. Don't you think that's sad? That's news? That's a story? Getting an invalid out because he's too slow? Instead of being amazed he can walk? No, he was too slow because the show must go on. Wow, that attracts young people. And they have an opinion. Yes, of course the show must go on. No, this is terrible, you know. Is this the way we treat people? This is, from an American newspaper, this is just a page about local news. When I read your Delhi newspaper, something about a neighborhood, I have no idea where it is. Have you? Do you know all the neighborhoods in Delhi? You know, you guys, you have more people living in Delhi than in the whole of the Netherlands. You know, let's talk about Delhi. No. So do everything to visualize, to place the news. So maybe I recognize this map and see straight away that's not far away from home or for my grandmother. Relate to me. Okay, this is something very important. I'm living in a province with 48 towns and villages. And there is a regional newspaper. And every day, without failure, all these 43 villages are mentioned alphabetically on one page. USA Today, every day for the last 30 years, has a half a page of 6-line news of every state in alphabetically order. And it's what I call a reader's contract. Buy my newspaper, and I guarantee you, your town, your area, your village is in the newspaper. I guarantee you. I have a supermarket owner. I guarantee you, I offer you milk. And that is what youngsters want. You know, they don't want to look, you know, might be my village somewhere. No. And if I was in India, I would do a weekly page on schools. And all these 1,000 kids know for sure every Wednesday there are 50 schools of that area in the newspaper. I will have a look. I just have a look what's about my school. Give him a contract. Give him a contract. You are the school, the village is in the newspaper. Many newspapers in Europe have infographics of a whole page. Of a whole page. And these are collected. And they're every day. So if you can tell the reader what is the next day infographic, you might create some attention. But it's a whole page. So give, you know, your newspapers have to become, some of you have to become more visual. More visual. This I like. This is an interview to a pop star. And where do those questions come from? We're going to interview the pop star. Where do the questions come from? From the readers. And they send in 500 questions. And the newsroom thinks question 2, 9, 12, 46 are interesting. And all the other answers, where are they? The rest of the answers? On the internet, on the website. So you involve the reader, and the reader will look in the newspaper, which question are chosen to be printed? Wow, it was mine, or it was not. So we create, on a basic level, some interest. If you want more young readers, you need a quiz. A quiz, and the answers can be found in the newspaper. Nothing else. Then you will get more readers. And if you can have a final and nice prizes, the better. But the answers are in the newspaper. Guarantee the reader, everybody can find the answer. Don't try to be smart. Because that's for next Wednesday. When you have to explain why India did not win, you know, then you have to be very, very smart, man. Okay. Passports. A passport is a simple booklet with assignments for kids whereby they have to use the newspaper. And when they're finished, every assignment has to be signed by the teacher and the parent and themselves. And when they're finished, they get a certificate. Very simple. Read the newspaper and you end up with a certificate. And it's very much registration. I mean, these are the examples of various countries in the world doing this passport. This is, I like the best. We want more readers, don't we? 101 days newspaper reading. Date, name of the newspaper, and how many minutes have you been reading. That's all. And after 101 days, the kids choose their own 101 days. At home, you get a certificate. And then they've been reading 101 days. And what did we see? Of course, in the beginning, the children started to read 1 minute. Fine. And then they heard in the classroom, some of the kids did 5 minutes. So let's do 5 minutes. So there was no threatening of teachers or parents or whatever. Very simple. Football. So Indian, you guys, and other kind, you need a cricket passport. You need a cricket passport. Assignments, getting the newspaper, and read about cricket. Because if it works in our part of the world with soccer, it must work with cricket. Because the sport is the big thing here. This one I like the best. This is a South African example. This newspaper created a football team, a comic strip football team called Super Strikers. And this football team has a sponsor, Caltex Petrol. They sponsored their team for the next 6 years. It was national news. And in the stadium, they have some McDonald's type of advertising. Those players become a hero, and they figure now in the Spur advertisement as a person. So this newspaper created their own football team, Super Strikers. And now it's in 6 or 7 countries. So you can find it on the web. Super Strikers.